So we're going live today. I'm pre-recording my show today, so you're getting a little behind the scenes and like pre-look at what is coming out. What will be coming out on July 26th, which is this Wednesday. You can hear it live on the radio. But if you tune in here, you can hear it live here on Facebook. I am here with Anthony Treble, who is my behind-the-scenes guy here at the radio show because he's been helping with sound, but he has a really fascinating story, so I've just been waiting to get him on the radio.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
yes, if you guys ever watch these lives from the radio show, you know that I'm actually recording live on the radio, so it sounds like a radio show, but you guys get to see us and, you know, kind of be part of that. And of course, I do have the Facebook open. So if you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and write them in. And I'd love to hear what you say and what you think. And I will be reading those throughout the show. But we are going to go ahead and get started. So y'all, okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to What's Happening Yucatan, your Wednesday night show with me, Stephanie Carmen. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the creator and editor of Mid-City Beat, an English publication online. And we are very active on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, as well as our website, www.midcitybeat.com, and an awesome calendar of events with all kinds of cultural events, so be sure to check it out. We spend lots of time on there getting you guys lots of cool events. I'm always looking up things and being like, oh, here, put this up on the events calendar, put this one up. So check it out because there's a lot of things going on in town, and that's eventsmidcitybeat.com. So that's actually another website, although you can get there from the main website as well. So check that out. If you are watching live on Facebook, you can leave a comment, and I will be checking throughout the show any questions for me or for my guest here tonight. And if you are listening on the radio, you can WhatsApp us at 999-126-0097. Always. We always love to hear from you guys. So what is going on this week? Actually, there's some really cool things going on this week. Well, like every week. And you know that at Mid-City, that's one of the things I like to do is tell you what is going on. So a few shout outs that places that I really enjoy going. The first one is Kiyuyo Sky Lounge, which is the rooftop at the Marriott. If you have not been there, you've got to check it out. It's a spectacular place to watch the sunset, have a drink. They have Asian-inspired food, which is a really great menu, a very ample menu, actually. There's lots of different choices on the menu. And it's just a beautiful space to go, especially at about 6, 7 o'clock at night, because you see the brilliant sunset. It's kind of like if you have a party to go to, it's kind of like a pre-place to have a cocktail. Or if you don't drink, they have mocktails, etc. Or before you go to the theater, or before you go to the movies, or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
it's really nice up there. So check that out. They also have DJs on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 8 p.m., and on Sundays at 6 p.m. So yeah.
Thumbs up for the DJs.
Yeah, heck yeah. We got a DJ in the house right now. Yes, we'll be getting there in just a second. But also, of course, Paseo 60 has live music every single night, and it's nice and cool in there. They have great gastronomy. You got several restaurants to choose from. There they also have a wine bar, a microbrews in there. They have shopping. The ADO luxury bus station is there. They have all sorts of things. The Salon Herrera, which I'm going to give them a nice shout out because I went there yesterday. Got my hair. I got Botox in my hair. Yes, it supposedly takes out the frizz, which you know what is like majorly needed with this.
I've heard something of the humidity in Merida, so.
Yeah, well, the humidity and like the water quality. There's all
Sarro,
exactly. Like calcium in the water, and it just like wreaks havoc on the hair. So I got that done at Salon Herrera, which is also a Paseo 60. They also have a barber shop for you men out there. Go get a clean up on your beard or on your
I don't have much up here, but I take care of the rest myself. So.
Yeah.
I used to be a barber, actually.
Well, did you?
I have many, many, many lives.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to get into Anthony's many lives in just a second. But yeah, so Paseo 60, check them out. Also, another spot that I have been recommending lately, Sureño Hotel, La Mata Restaurant, and El Fresco, which is their rooftop bar. And the Mata restaurant is absolutely phenomenal. The food is incredible. The chef is Chef Jorge Delfonso, and they are doing really great things there. So if you want to have a spectacular dinner, La Mata restaurant, and then they also have El Fresco, which is the rooftop. It also has a pool, has a nice view at night, and it's really kind of cool. They have DJs there on Thursday and tarot card readings, so that's kind of fun. On Wednesday they actually have jazz at 8 p.m. Friday and Saturdays they have DJs as well. So it's also really kind of a cool spot to go check out for sure. And then this week, okay, so starting on July 28th, the Tunich Fair in Sitia is happening. And this is a 10-day fair of artisans. More than 150 artisans will be there. And it is a journey into the grand artisan tradition of Yucatan and of Mexico. There's some guest artists from other parts of Mexico. So in this picturesque community of Sitia, it's located just 24 kilometers from the city of Merida. You can come to the Tunich Artisan Fair. It's its second edition. And there's going to be stonework, woodwork, textiles, lots more. There'll be gastronomy, of course. That is never lacking in the state of Yucatan. But some of the local cooks from the community will be out there selling their food. There's going to be guest artists from Michoacan, Guanajuato, Veracruz. So that starts at 10 a.m. and goes to 10 p.m. That's July the 28th through August the 6th. So you kind of have several days to choose from. Choose the best day to go out there. Go out, support the artisans, get something really cool for your house or a gift, a really nice place for a gift, or if you're looking for something really special for a corner in your house, etc. Check it out because there's gonna be some brilliant work out there. Also, if you don't have transportation, the fair is providing free transportation. It's going from the main square. So you can get some information about that from the main square of Merida, which is in the Zocalo, right? And the Calle 60 and 61 and 63. Or if you're going in your own vehicle, they have parking provided, etc. It's only about 20 minutes from Merida. So definitely mark your calendars. July the 28th through August the 6th, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. in the community of Sitia. Right, in the community of Sitiao. All right, so without further ado, I am going to be introducing my lovely friend and talented musician here. Talented musician, artist, actor, DJ, educator. We have Anthony Treble in the house. Anthony Treble in the house. He's from New York and relocated to Merida from Charlotte, North Carolina. He has been my sound engineer for this radio show, totally volunteering his expertise because, he would watch my Facebook lives and be like, Steph, just want to say you can't really hear it that well. There's kind of a weird echo. It's like, if you want, I can help you out. And he's totally been helping him out. And on my Facebook lives, it sounds like what it sounds like on the radio. So that's been really appreciated. And so now I'm having him on because he's got a really interesting story. And of course, that's what we like to do here. Talk about interesting stories.
Indeed.
Welcome, Anthony.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm humbled beyond belief.
Oh yeah, well you're great, and we've chatted quite a lot about your life and your story, and it's always so interesting. So tell us a little bit first about how is it that you made it to Merida, because you've been here for what, 2 years or more?
Almost 3 now.
Almost 3. Okay. So how is it that you made it to Merida? What was your expat or immigrant story, right?
Wow. To be as concise as possible, I very honestly had some mental health issues, and I found that when I had visited and vacationed in Mexico and parts of the Caribbean, I always felt more at peace.
Okay.
And because of some earlier traumas, things we don't need to discuss now, I had to recognize that as I believe it was my great grandmother who may have first said it, you're no good to anyone if you're no good to yourself.
Absolutely.
And
very true and wise words.
I was more concerned about any damage I could do allowing myself to be unstable. So I made a tough decision, but I definitely wear a smile a little bit more often here, living in Merida. There's a sense of peace.
So when did you first find out about Merida, or why Merida? Because you mentioned the Caribbean, which is also because you have roots from Puerto Rico, no?
Sí, claro que sí.
Yeah.
Mi madre es de Puerto
Rican, New York, Puerto Rican, New York. Yeah, I mean,
well,
your family.
Just for quick clarification, because my mother will kick my butt.
Hi, Mom.
The term New Yorican is typically used in reference to Puerto Ricans who were born in New York.
Okay.
Like myself.
Okay.
But real islanders, like who were born on the island and come here. My mother lived in New York. She's from Puerto Rico, but she did not like being called a New Yorican because.
But she wasn't. Was she born in New York?
She wasn't, but she didn't like me being called that either. And the reason was that typically insinuated you didn't know your culture and you didn't know your language. So she would jump on me. Mira, tú eres puertorriqueño. Me oíste, tú no eres un New Yorican. I was like, okay, ma, I got you.
All right. So you are Puerto Rican and you grew up in New York.
Yes.
And you grew up
Queens, New York. I was born in Jamaica to an entertainer, as it were, and an educator, which ironically is what I do. Both my parents were educators and entertainers, musicians. My father actually helped found the Harlem Renaissance Theater Group in New York City.
Oh, wow.
Along with his best friend, Junie Smith, who is a writer and director. He's been in Hollywood. He was in movies back in the day, for those of you who may have a little bit more experience. Lethal Weapon to Good Morning Vietnam, things like that. So and then he transitioned into writing and directing. And my father made a shift into education.
Right.
He didn't continue along those paths, but we still kind of lived aspects of those lives. Or that life, in that all of his children, we were creative.
Right.
Whether it was musically, artistically.
What was his participation in Good Morning Vietnam?
My godfather? He was, well, to be blunt, there are two very identifiable African-American actors in the film, Forrest Whitaker, and a lot of people affectionately refer to my godfather as the other brother. So if you watch the film, any sequences where you see Robin Williams in the studio, and there are basically three people you'll see regularly in there with him. Two of them are African-American. One is the very identifiable Forrest Whitaker. The other is my godfather, Junie Smith. Many of his scenes are just him laughing hysterically at everything Robin Williams said.
Which pretty much we were all doing while we were watching it, right? You know, it's funny because I always put, a lot of times I put up a good morning post in my social media, and I always put good morning Yucatan, but I take it out of good morning Yucatan. I mean, good morning Vietnam. I mean, of course, it's a common saying, but that's why I do it from that.
So I had a pretty cool childhood in terms of association, because I kind of was always surrounded by entertainment, being from where I'm from in New York City.
Right. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
No, my father was an actor. He did musical theater. My mother plays guitar. She's an artist. Incredible. She can paint in ways that I don't comprehend, because that's not my skill set.
Right.
My brother is artistic. My sister does community theater. It's just
it's
what we do.
It's in the blood. It runs in the blood.
Indeed.
Well, all right. So we are going to have to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, and we will be back with a little bit of Anthony's story. All right, and welcome back to What's Happening Yucatan with me, Stephanie Carmen. And today on my show, I have guest Anthony Treble, who is originally from New York City and has been now living in Merida for almost 3 years. Like I was saying, he's an artist, DJ, musician, actor, educator. So we are going to be we're talking with him a little bit about his story. But before we get to that, I want to give two really cool foodie shout outs. The first one is 101 Coffee and Tea in Plaza Malac on Avenida Yucatan. They're also in Plaza San Juanitas. These guys serve tapioca drinks. You guys like tapioca? Because I love tapioca, the little ball, like the little gelatin balls. But those are so good. So they have a full menu of coffees and drinks and frappes, etc., that are really nice, especially when it's so hot outside. And so definitely go check them out. They also have some really nice desserts in there as well. The owner, his wife, makes desserts, and so it's a family shop, and they have great drinks. Again, they're in the Plaza Malac and on Avenida Yucatan, and they're also in the Plaza San Juanitas in the Colonia Campestre. And also Catalina Bakery. If you are looking for a cozy place to enjoy a delicious breakfast, you have got to go to Catalina Bakery. They have freshly baked croissants, bread with bacon, or a full egg breakfast. They have everything you need to start your day off right. I was actually there last week, and I had this croissant with chocolate and bacon in it. It was so good. It was quite sinful, I do have to say, but it was really nice. And you know, when you're getting a little decadent on a Sunday morning, perfect. It was perfect.
Good choice of words. Decadent.
It was decadent, but it was really good. They do a really great job with their bread and their coffee and everything. So it's located on Calle 22. Between 19 and Avenida Colón in Garcia Generes. It's actually right across the street from the Parque de las Americas. So visit Catalina Bakery. Catalina Bakery is a delicious encounter between bread and people. So getting back to our guest. So we're talking to Anthony a little bit about his journey, about how it is that he made it to Merida. And you were saying you needed to kind of escape. You needed a change of scenery. And so you made it to Merida. And that was almost 3 years ago. And you've been here ever since, or have you been coming and going?
I've established permanent residency here, but I do frequent the States when I can. I have family there.
Sure.
So I have to get back to see my daughters and my parents and a lot of people, siblings. I'm currently separated from my spouse, but that's the mother of my children.
Sure,
we have a lot
to go back and see the fam, or stay in contact with the fam. So,
and then I have some business to do periodically. I've been fortunate enough to actually do some DJ work in Miami. My brother is an entertainment director there. He's over, I think, 6 different venues. So
tell us a little bit of your life as an artist, because you're a DJ, you're a musician, an actor, an educator. So how did you get started in that, and what is it that you're doing now?
Wow. Well, artist, I guess, is such a broad term, but in the world of music, I had no desire to be an artist whatsoever. I am a producer and songwriter by nature. I love that aspect of the creative. So since you were a kid,
you were writing songs?
Well, as a youngster, let me see if I can do it quickly here. I'm going to date myself. Yeah, I'm going to date myself here. Right. So for any more mature listeners, I was primarily motivated with respect to music by 2 artists that impacted me and kind of changed my perspective on this idea. The first was Michael Jackson. As a child,
sure,
Michael kind of made me realize I had some talent. I could sing along, I could dance and moonwalk and do the moves. Yeah, that's how I used to claim.
He inspired so many artists and so many people with his music. Really.
Rest in peace. And actually the next artist, unfortunately, another rest in peace. This artist wound up being more impactful because this is the artist that made me think, I want to do that. I want to captivate in some way. So at the time, I thought it would be as an artist, but I didn't know in what capacity. I saw myself as a musician, and that was the late, great Prince.
Oh, of
Nelson
course.
Rogers.
Who was another one who was inspired so many artists. I mean, they're two geniuses, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that genius infected me in the best of ways.
And they said, we're talking when you were like
young.
Yeah. They planted that seed when you were just a kid.
Yeah. So I saw the Let's Go Crazy video by Prince. The guitar solo
Right. Oh, I know. I remember the guitar solo.
Yeah. And then so I immediately went to my father and I ran and asked him to watch. And we didn't have cable, so I think it was like, I don't remember why we were fortunate enough to be catching a Prince performance. and I just said, hey, Pop, that's what I want to do. I probably couldn't have been more than 8. 9, yeah. Like I was young. Yeah, like 9 maybe. And I was like, that's what I want to do.
Right.
And he's like, what? I said, I want to do that. I want to play guitar. I want to make people like go crazy. Because the song was called Let's Go Crazy.
What'd your dad say?
Boy, you know how much a guitar costs? I said, no, sir. He said, well, you must be crazy. You think I'm going to go buy you a guitar?
Right.
We'll see.
Right. Will, the famous will see, right? Every parent.
Said, well, and the irony is that school year, in my day, schools required music education and you had to select one of 4 instruments. Right.
Yeah.
But the guitar was not an option.
You're like, we don't want a bunch of
based
rock
on
and roll,
public school funding. Yeah. So public school funding basically was a trumpet, a clarinet, a flute, or a violin.
Yeah.
And then when you got to middle school, they expanded into some forms of percussion and things. But I looked at all of those. My young ego realized nothing really resembled the guitar except the violin, and it didn't hold appeal. Side note, the irony of that is my very good friends are black violin, Grammy-nominated black violin. They combine classical violin with hip hop.
Oh, yeah. Violin's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. So I might have missed out on that one, fellas. But I elected the trumpet. So I played the trumpet. That's kind of what opened up a little bit of my musical acumen. And then I taught myself to play the piano pretty well. My brother is a very, very, very talented musician, songwriter, producer, everything. And I had no, he's younger. Okay. And this is why it was so, I guess, kind of mind blowing to me because I didn't realize I was influencing him as much as I was. And kind of every door that started opening with music, I was showing him things, but he was picking up at a much greater pace.
Right.
And he was much more driven. I had gotten a little older. I had fallen into certain everyday life traps,
Yeah.
Bills. Next thing you know, it's children and da-da-da-da.
Right.
And he got me back into it. I let it go for a while. He became a finalist on American Idol.
Oh, really? What year?
Yeah. Oh, gosh. We're getting a little old now. 2013, maybe. It's been about 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, he made it to. Well, he went to the.
What was he doing? He was singing.
Oh yeah, he's.
That's what they do on American Idol. It's
he's. But he also happens to be.
You can obviously tell that I don't watch it all the time. I do. I have watched it before, but
I only watched select seasons, and generally it was when I happened to know people on there. I had
when your brother is a finalist, right?
Actually, I had 3 different years where I knew people personally who competed.
Right. So what happened? What happened? I mean, did he get a lot of opportunities out of that?
Yes and no. There's a lot of contractual stuff associated when you get to that level.
Right.
But I thought the best thing that happened to him, in my opinion, was that he did not make the live shows. He got to Hollywood. He was on camera a few times. He performed very well. And then they did, their narrowing down. And each year they adjusted, kind of their format. And in the format he was there, they had 20 men and 20 women as their finalists in Hollywood. And then they cut down to 12 of each to go live. And he didn't get to the live portion. Right. But it was a good thing for him because then he returned to Florida, met the gentleman who started Black Violin. He started working with them. He had the good fortune of doing some songwriting and even singing. One of their songs that's been nominated for a number of things has actually been featured on television programs, sports broadcasting. It's called Virtuoso.
Okay.
And that's my brother.
We could probably look that up.
Yeah, the group is Black Violin. I can post it in here.
Yeah.
But Black Violin and the song Virtuoso is that's my brother singing on there.
That's exciting. And but here I know that you've been getting back into I guess finding your way here in Merida as with your profession, and also in DJing and continuing as your role in your life as an actor, etc. So tell us a little bit about what it is that you're doing here in Merida.
Well, one of the things I initially started when I first came down was I was looking to kind of focus on two things, but a lot has shifted just as things change. I wanted to interact with local musicians and artists, which I did do, and I'm fortunate enough to still continue to do to some extent. I also wanted to potentially work with a band. So I started that process, but with COVID and a number of the facilities still not quite opening up, there were some snags. And I had to kind of reassess. I had to start doing a little bit more online work with my education.
Right. Which boomed during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, I started Mid-City, and Mid-City was going pretty well because I started about 5 years ago. But, I had about 2 solid years before the pandemic hit. Yep. And when the pandemic hit, I lost all my clients. Mid-City is me going out and
I understand.
being with people. And so I had to bring it back. And one of the things I did was go back online because I've been an educator as well. And educators in the house. Yeah. But the online classes just boomed because everybody's at home and they need to continue learning. So, yeah.
Well, I was stubborn initially because I was still pushing for some acting opportunities and music opportunities. But then I recognized that my skill set, 20 plus years as an educator, and I still enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it in the classroom anymore, unfortunately. That had drained me.
And what is it that you teach when you teach usually?
At this time, my primary focus is ELA, English Language Arts, ESL, English as a Second Language, and then mathematics. I focus on age groups between roughly 8 years old and 16 years old, depending on their math level. And then I work with adults. I teach English and Spanish.
You gotta fly, right?
Oh, that's all right. The living creature that's appreciating the broadcast.
Exactly. So you started teaching again, and what else? Because I know you are you're getting into your music again and recording, etc.
Yeah. So what I've been doing while I've been working on that is I never stop music because it's just such a part of me. It's kind of one of those things I do every day.
Right.
I love it.
And what do you do every day as a musician?
Depends. Some days it's just listening to work on a mix for a song. Other days I'm listening to new independent artists to get basically a feel for the direction of what people are looking to listen to. And that's not to say that it influences how I make my music as much as it influences how I look to market my music.
Sure.
I do what I do. I don't have any interest in trying to sound like someone else. I am a songwriter and producer. My primary influences in that realm are hip hop, soul, rock, and tropical rhythms, which would include salsa, merengue, Afro beats. My background, just African American, Indigenous American, Latin American, and I grew up listening to so much.
Right.
And now when you listen to a hip hop song of mine, you'll notice that the chorus will be a very soul infused vocal performance with congas bongos and
Awesome.
maracas,
Well, okay, because we did touch on the instruments that you learn, and you said you had to learn the trumpet, and you couldn't get your guitar. But now, how many instruments do you play now, or what are your main instruments now?
As a professional musician, I am a keyboardist,
Okay.
a vocalist, and a percussionist.
Okay.
I can play several other instruments.
Did you learn the guitar then?
Yes.
But you would say more on an amateur level, not a professional.
Yeah, I would not.
Or you rock it out like Prince.
No. I have played guitar on stage before with a few bands. Very, very limited progressions. I am well aware.
C, D, E. That's what I did.
And even then, I'm like,
I played guitar. C, D,
well, guitar players know, and I have fat fingers, so I had to learn some tricks from my buddy. But yeah, one time I even played bass with our band. I played in a band where we rotated and all played multiple instruments.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I played
that's fun.
percussion, keys, bass. The drummer played drums, keys, percussion, and bass. The guitarist played harmonica, percussion, bass.
Right, you're just like rotating around.
And we were all vocalists except one of us, so we had a lot of fun. We just smashed it up.
Wow.
Great mix of musicians. Unfortunate mix of personalities.
That tends to happen. But so now you're playing that you're doing the keyboard, vocals, and percussion.
Yeah. And I'm
so
a DJ,
what is,
so that's
So yeah, some of the electronic music in there as well.
My rig, so to speak, if I'm set up to do a performance, I will have my DJ interface, laptop, keyboard, set of bongos, microphone, and handheld percussion.
Right.
And depending on the show, if I'm playing with a band, I become the Swiss Army knife. And if I'm doing a show, then I'm usually DJing and incorporating live instrumentation with it.
And have you been able to perform here in Merida? Have you found it?
No, I've actually been kind of holding off and doing some research on different venues, and I'm seeing more and more venues open.
But would you like to perform here?
Oh, absolutely. That's part of the progression.
Yeah.
And because I have my own independent music, I wanted to make sure I use that as a platform to push myself out. There are a lot of DJs out here, and that's great. I think it's awesome that Merida has really embraced that culture.
Exploded. There's some great DJs in town,
Right. But I would say there are definite calls out there for different styles of DJs.
Sure.
And I feel like I would fall more into that mold.
Right.
I guess, for lack of a better term, a party rock DJ.
Okay.
So I'm not a major turntablist, but I was mentored by some pretty good DJs.
Right. Well, let's take this opportunity and give everyone a little sample of some of the latest work that you're working on. And we're going to do a little sample right now, but then at the end of the show, we're going to play the song completely. So, stay tuned for that. But let's cut off for a quick little 20 seconds.
Can I do a little introduction of the song?
Please do.
Yeah, because this song actually doesn't feature any of those DJs I just referenced, but my project does. This is a song that I made with an incredible artist out of Australia named Island Boy K. It is the two of us singing and doing a little bit of hip hop to a tropical style Afro beats song. This will be a slight snippet, and then we'll give you an opportunity to listen to the whole thing. The song is in both English and Spanish. The second verse is in Spanish. That would be my part, and all of the chorus and choral parts we sing together. The first is Island Boy.
Awesome. So let's take a listen.
Let me follow you, girl. Something you need to know. I like the way you move your body on the floor just for me. I'm looking deep into your eyes. You're moving closer to me. You know that I like it. You got me excited. I'm making my wife and baby. You're my wifey, baby. Oh, na, 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 na. Dime lo que quieres. No hay otras mujeres, no.
All right. So that's pretty incredible. That's pretty, and, and like I said, if you want to hear the full version, in about 20 minutes, we'll be playing the full version, but you got a little snippet there. And can they hear it? Can they follow you on Spotify? Are you up there yet?
Yeah. I am on any and every platform you can imagine.
Anthony Treble.
Yes.
Or is it another name?
No. I'm under Anthony Treble. Actually, I'm gonna jump back on this live.
And those for you, those of you watching in Facebook Live, I'll be putting the link in the description or in the comments, so you can click in there too and check that out.
My Facebook Live, I posted my website here, so people can access, and any and every link to all of my profiles are found on my website.
And if you're listening out there live on the radio, just go to Anthony Treble, Treble.
Yes.
Yeah. And check him out on Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Pandora. You can even check out my IMDb profile, although the photos aren't current right now. Don't ask.
Don't pay attention to the photos. He's a lot better looking in person. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's just there. I had more promotional photos, but don't worry, those promo photos are on my website.
Maybe you were better looking in the photos, and now you're like, if you see me in the street, I had some Photoshop done on this.
No. That just shows my acting profile, some stuff I've done. It doesn't cover it all. All that's on my website because commercials aren't typically shown there. That's just TV and film work. So that's out there. I was a featured extra in a TV show with Jessica
Biel. Tell us a little bit about that, about your acting, because I know that's something else that you have a passion for.
Oh, yeah. Just from what I was exposed to as a youngster. When I made the transition into entertainment, really for health reasons, that was actually one of the biggest recommendations. As I transitioned out of the classroom and education, I didn't lose the passion to educate, but those environments made it difficult for me to sustain my health. So music, entertainment, acting became outlets for that.
Absolutely, which I think they do for many, many artists as well.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much, but probably let's say like 100%.
Yeah, and those were
art is very healing.
Right.
All forms,
without question,
on all forms.
And mine was quite literally doctor ordered. Like you need to
act and get in that studio.
Yeah. So I went to an open call in Charlotte. I showed up, did what they asked. They liked what they saw. I went, got some headshots done, did my first commercial as an extra with Dale Earnhardt Jr., the NASCAR race driver living in Charlotte, North Carolina. In the States, NASCAR is huge. So I actually worked with a lot of NASCAR drivers, many of whom are actually very, very cool guys. And then there are a few that aren't as cool.
Everywhere, right?
All right. But I won't put their business out in the street like that. But it was fun to work with them. Some of them were really fun.
So what was the commercial?
Well, the Dale Earnhardt one was a Goodyear tire commercial. That my children.
What did you do?
I was.
Did you change the tires really quick?
No, I wasn't a pit crew guy in that case.
Yeah, when you change it less than 1 second or something.
No. But shout out to my man William Wilson. I have to say this: he is the first African American to work on a pit crew in NASCAR. He happens to be a buddy of mine.
Oh, really?
He's a custom clothier. He's a golf fanatic. He's a great guy.
Wow. Well,
yeah. NASCAR is really big there.
Those guys are like superheroes or something. I don't get it.
It's wild. But yeah, so you have your legends, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart. I've actually met many of them because a number of the commercial spots I did, they were in. But sometimes it was just in passing. Other times you actually interacted with them.
Right.
Danica Patrick. So I've worked with a lot of pretty cool people.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I guess in that industry you end up meeting lots of interesting people. Yeah. So you as an actor, you're doing mostly commercials.
Well, right now,
what other projects do you like to work on?
Yeah, right now, very specifically, I am very much in support of the SAG-AFTRA writer's strike that's taking place right now. So I am only eligible to do commercials and a few other limited projects as non-union. SAG has certain classifications. This is a union to support the writers. There's a tremendous amount of conflict with respect to the distribution of funds from streaming platforms and from the use of AI. And the billionaires are not folding. So we have to stand firm on that. I am fortunate, as mentioned, to still have the occasional opportunity to do a commercial. I have just recently auditioned this past week for one shooting in Europe. I can't disclose any details, but it would be a very big deal. I'm looking forward to it. I think the audition went fantastic, and I've had some other good news come about in the week. The song that they just heard a snippet of is a part of an international publishing company that has contracts with HBO and Disney and a couple other ones. So fingers crossed that the song can get placed. It's what we call sync licensing, so that it can be used in a TV, film, commercial. That's where the money is in the music industry.
Right.
Unfortunately, streaming is not where it's at. Same thing is holding true for the writers with respect to the strike.
Right.
They're not earning any percentage really of any of the streaming revenue that's being generated, but they're creating the work.
But they're creating. And so how is that strike coming? Are they making any headway, or what are they demanding?
In all honesty, the demands are minimal, to say the least, with respect to the pieces of the pie that would need to be distributed. It's from all the major corporations, from Apple to, my goodness, let me get it all down, because it's a long list. You got NBC, Universal, Apple, Netflix, and an even longer list. But every single one of them, in order to meet the demands that are being asked by the members of the strike and SAG-AFTRA, forgive me, Screen Actors Guild, and AFTRA is for Theater and Fine Arts. But in essence, on average, each company would have to fork over maybe $50 million a year. They profited, I think, and I have to double check this, please don't quote me, I think they profited over $42 trillion.
Right.
Or built 42 billion. Either way,
it's a lot of money.
Yeah, and now I feel like I'm exaggerating unnecessarily, because when you actually look at the percentages, each company would only need to give up less than 1% of their profit margins for the year in order to meet the demands of SAG, so that writers, crew, members of the union are compensated fairly for the work that they do.
Right.
So I completely stand in solidarity.
Right. And do you think that they're going to make some headway, that they'll be able to?
I really hope so, because right now the corporations have stated that they are willing to allow all of the writers and actors who support them to go bankrupt. They'll let them, in essence, become so, quote unquote, poor that they'll have no choice but to come back under less favorable terms.
Wow.
And the terms as of right now leave, I think, roughly 80% of the actors who are in SAG unable to afford health insurance.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, is there anything?
And please double check my numbers. A lot of this was things that I've just been looking at recently.
But in general, it's a major crisis. And, and that's what I think a lot of the artists have been, and workers in the industry have been complaining about for a long time, is the streaming. The streaming doesn't. I mean, they don't.
I know the numbers in the music industry. Oh no, on average, a stream generates roughly 4/1000ths of a penny.
And but the streaming for the consumer makes it so nice and so easy, and so how could we make that as a consumer, right? Balance that out, because of course all the consumers, we love our favorite artists, and we don't want. I mean, we'd love to. Maybe we can't afford to always get, the $50 album, but maybe we could just say, okay, well, I can go pay $10 or $5,
Well, that's the genius of the system that they've put in place. The irony is, what people fail to realize is every single one of those platforms is only allowing you to lease music. You don't own anything you listen to. You're paying a monthly to lease music. If you want to buy it, you have to spend your money, but then you own the MP3. If any of these digital platforms shut down, You don't have any of your music.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Every playlist you've ever created, every song you think you downloaded via a platform that's proprietary software.
Right.
So even when you're offline and you're listening on Spotify, you're listening to a very specific Spotify embedded track.
Right.
You can't play it anywhere else.
Uh-huh.
And if Spotify cuts that off, you don't have any of quote unquote your music.
Right.
That's the major difference between when you own something physical. And in that structure, artists were more fairly compensated because the consumer was receiving something that was theirs.
Uh-huh.
They just were blinded by this new convenience. Technology is always about convenience. So you pay $9 a month. I can listen to any song, anytime, anywhere. This is my library. No, it's not.
Right.
It's just,
but it is convenient.
That's the biggest thing. So for me, it's a tool to promote what it is I'm doing. And then
I think that, most musicians have just used it as a tool.
It's a promotional tool because you can't make money doing that.
Right,
so you have to find other avenues to generate revenue. And that's a hard part of the business.
Right, exactly. Well, we are going to take another quick break and be right back. So don't go anywhere. We're going to come back for the last couple of minutes here with Anthony. And welcome back to What's Happening Yucatan, your show with me, Stephanie Carmen. And here I am finishing up the show with my guest, Anthony Treble, who is an artist, DJ, musician, actor, educator, living in Merida. And we've been talking a little bit about his history as an artist and a musician and an actor. And so, Anthony, tell us, what is the plan now in your Merida. Life in Merida
Well, the primary focuses for me are always driven by education and entertainment. I have made some changes in my pursuits, but they're always still at the foundation. I have spent quite a bit of time doing event hosting online. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of experience coordinating events previously.
Events, but like what do you mean
virtually?
Okay.
Yeah. Working with a volunteer organization online. That's actually one of the reasons I had mentioned to you previously about reaching out to Kimmy Suki and Gabrielle.
Right. Kimmy, shout out. We love Kimmy.
Yucatan Giving Outreach, Yucatan Giving Outreach is one of the nonprofits that I've spoken to one of my companies about doing something with. So I continue to do work online in education, but a lot of it is also in event work. Mm-hmm. And because I've worked as a DJ for many years, I was not limited to just working in clubs or lounges. I started my own company. Okay. And in doing so, I compiled quite a bit of equipment. So I am offering rental services for sound and lighting.
Yeah, like you do
Merida.
Here with me. You bring in all of these cables and
well, I have a lot
gadgets.
More. I have a lot more available. I could do a small street festival uptown just about.
And you have it all here in Merida.
I do. I brought all my equipment with me. So I have subwoofers, main speakers.
Oh my gosh.
Truss lighting, microphones, you name it, wireless microphones. I can host any number of events with respect to that, or I can provide just the sound and lighting rental. Uh-huh. And that's a big part of what I'm shifting into in conjunction with doing some DJ work here. Right. I'm going to continue to work with some local artists. Sumi JB. Shout out to Sumi JB. He's a young artist here in Merida. Very talented.
I don't think I know who that is.
You will.
Is he?
He's a young hip hop vocalist. He's a breakdancer.
But is he from here or
he's
is he from
Ganasing?
Yeah.
Merida.
Hey. Well,
Encino One. Encino One. Okay. I have connections.
Ooh, I love that.
Whenever I move to a town, I make sure to meet the locals.
Oh, yeah.
And then I meet the real locals.
Oh, fun.
So, yeah, I know them. Encino One's a dance crew and a couple other guys. Encino One, like the number one.
Encino One. So we'll have to check this
so
guy
Sumi JB is an incredible artist. JB. Samuel Cano.
Hip hop?
Yeah, he's kind of hip hop, Afro beats, reggaeton. He does a lot. He's good. He's incredible. But he's, like I said, breakdancer, incredible. Samuel Cano, he's an incredible vocalist, guitarist, keyboard player. He's played in several bands, salsa, merengue. He sings in English and Spanish. multi-instrumentalist. Just I've had the good fortune of meeting some people who are really going to be doing some things, and I'm looking forward to putting on some events. So I'm going to be hosting some events to expose some of those people and continue to do those things I'm doing. I'm still teaching English and Spanish online. All of those things are accessible either through my website or on Facebook. I am definitely looking forward to being more entrenched here in Merida. Had a few hiccups. First year pandemic, second year needed to find a new place because the rent doubled in Centro.
Right, yeah.
Then unfortunate situation was robbed online, got fish scammed, hacked, lost a bunch of money, and that's when I really had to start doing a lot more online instruction.
Man. So now you're kind of recovering from that.
Yeah, well, it was a good thing. It helped me do some more training online and refocus on getting some music done. And the last thing I guess I want to mention, because there's so much I'd love to cover, but I know our time's limited. I also have a song that I'll be releasing in support of the strike. It's actually called Hollywood. It features an interesting individual. He is an event host and the former MC at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. So he lives in Hollywood. And we've put together a song just kind of talking about the idea of why people feel like that's something they have to pursue when they don't understand all the pitfalls and the work associated with it. So this is something I want to do to support the strike. It's currently up on my website, which I posted on my
Facebook. The song is done. It's done. It's up on the website, but it's not up on the Spotify.
I haven't released it.
Okay.
I've only put it up for free download and for donations.
Okay.
And then I'll take
And what's your website?
7sonsentertainment.com.
Okay.
It is
all spelled out or in
www.7sonsentertainment.com.
Okay.
And I've posted it on my live here, but I'm gonna rerun live when they run it on the air, and I'll add a few more of those links, including to Mid City Beat.
Ooh.
Well, incredible. I'm sorry. Hashtag incredible. So I am beyond humbled. Thank you so much. And I hope we have enough time to hear, at least Make You Mine, half English, half Spanish, and get it in rotation here at Radio Mundo.
Well, yes, exactly. So we're going to have to go ahead and finish up, but we are going to be playing the song right now. So stay tuned and don't forget to follow us on Mid City Beat, www.midcitybeat.com, as well as Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I'm all over the place. We're all over the place.
Yeah.
Also,
all my handles are A1. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead. Your handles are what?
A1, like the number one.
A1 on Instagram and Facebook.
On Facebook, it's just Anthony Treble. On Instagram, Twitter, and everything else, it's A1.
A1. So go ahead and give Anthony a follow as well. And then Radio Mundo Merida, 89.3 FM, Facebook and Instagram, and Radio Mundo 89.3 on Twitter. So again, stay tuned for the full song of Anthony Treble coming up right now. And thanks for joining us tonight. And I will see you all next week. And be sure to make it out to the fair at Tunich. It's happening in just a couple of days.
That's
so
right.
You can go out there for the inauguration.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much.
Oh yeah.
Island Boy K.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Girl, you look so fine. Yeah. Tell you that every day, wanna make you mine. Ooh yeah. Cause I only want you for myself. Never wanna see you with someone else. If I lose you, I cry for help. Baby, yeah. I know you see me with the modern girls, so please forgive me. I would do anything you want me to make you believe. I want to follow you anywhere you wanna go. To let me follow you, girl. It's something you need to know. I like the way you move your body on the floor just for me. I'm looking deep into your eyes, you're moving closer to me. Come on. You know that I like it, you got me excited. Make you my wifey, baby, yeah. My wifey, baby, oh na 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 na.
Dime lo que
quieres, no hay otras mujeres, no. Y todo lo que hagas, energía en mi alma. Estoy pensando en tu cara, tu cuerpo y tú solo. Y mira cómo bailas, caderas, los labios y las nalgas. And it's real like that, skin glistening, I'm listening to my own raps. Like, did she really make me write all that? It can't be just because the body's oh so stacked. Facts. And you know that I ain't running from it. Your body's a highlight, baby. I like the way you move your body on the floor just for me. I'm looking deep into your eyes, you're moving closer to me. You know that I like it, you got me excited. Make you my wifey, baby, yeah. My wifey, baby, oh na 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 na. With you, got a lot of things to do. Sipping on the Malibu with you, baby. Talk to him. Girl, you know I'm with you. Got a lot of things to do. Feeling hella comfortable with you, baby. Let's sing it, K. Girl, you know I'm with you. Got a lot of things to do. Sipping on the Malibu with you, baby. Girl, you know I'm with you. Got a lot of things to do. Feeling hella comfortable with you, baby.